today we're going to make a lamb flatbread flavour explosion. Welcome along to Barbecue Life, my name's Tom. As I said at the top of the video, today we are doing a lamb flatbread on the Ninja Woodfire. So it's a pretty simple cook, it's got minimal ingredients but maximum flavour. So let's jump straight in. First thing we need to do is we need to trim up some lamb. So I've got some lamb leg steaks and there's some sinew and some extra fat and things on there. So I just need to get that trimmed off. I've not done too much filming on that because it's quite easy. If it's big hard pieces of fat, then take it off. If it's silver skin, then trim it off. Next to that, you can see that we've got some soft fruit. So this is nectarine. I've just laid out on a plate, little small wedges, and we're just going to cover that in some of my own rub, my umami oomph powder, and it's just going to help balance the sweetness out as it's quite a savoury rub. And we're just going to get a little bit of that in there. We don't need too much because we still want the flavour of nectarine just to sing through. It's just a little bit of seasoning. So at this point we now want to be getting our wood fire up to temperature. So we're going to be using the grill function today. So we'll just twist it around to grill. I'm only setting it for 3 minutes because every 3 minutes we're going to be moving our lamb. And we're just going to get that started up, let that preheat. And you can even do that while you're trimming your meat and while you're seasoning your nectarines. So I'm not putting any seasoning on the lamb today, and that's because we're going to dress this in a barbecue sauce a bit later on. I'm going to keep that barbecue sauce name a bit of a secret, but it's something super special. So once we've got that wood fire up to temperature, as you know, it lets you know. So beforehand it's saying preheating, and now it's asking me to add the food. So we're just going to get that on and get it on. Once you put it on, let it just sit there. Do not wriggle it around because I'm going to show you how to get some nice grill marks on your meat. And get that on and then just give it a bit of a push down with the tongs just to make sure that you've got maximum surface area contact. Shut the lid and let it do them 3 minutes. After that 3 minutes you're going to need to turn it off and turn it back on again, back onto the grill setting to reset the timer and the temperature. And we're going to pick them up with our tongs and we're going to turn them about 90 degrees. So this is going to give us some nice grill marks on the bottom, and then nice little diamond shapes that we can get off of a standard grill or cast iron grates, things like that. I'll shut the lid down another 3 minutes. So I'm expecting this to be almost ready now. So after that 3 minutes we can go in with our temperature probe. So depending on how well you want it done, completely depends on what temperature you want to take it to. I want to be taking this to a bit of a medium because there is a lot of fat and still some hard fat deposits all the way through a lamb leg steak. So we want to get them rendered down as much as possible. If you only go for rare, then you're going to leave a lot of that heavier fat behind. So we're probing and we're coming into the low 50s in some places and high 40s in some others. So I'm happy to flip these but only give them another minute on the other side. So as you can see, when we flip them over, we've got that nice diamond mark on the bottom that we were talking about. One steak is better than the other, and that's because that steak was a bit flatter and a bit more uniform in its shape. The other one, when I've trimmed it, it's kind of lost its shape, which is a bit of a shame. So get that flipped over, turn the wood fire off again, back to grill, take the time down to 1 minute, shut the lid, and off we go again. While we're doing that, if you haven't already prepped your nectarines, then now's the time to prep it, because while the meat is resting off to one side, we can get our nectarines on. So the reason we rest meat is because that temperature is still going to climb once it comes off the grill. It gives it time for that temperature to come up, stabilise and sit where it needs to sit, and it lets the juices will start to run out and then they will redistribute throughout the meat, so it gives you a much juicier bite by letting it rest. If we just take it off and slice into it, all of the juices run out and you never get it back and you end up with a drier piece of meat. So always make sure you rest your meat. In this recipe you've got no choice because we're cooking more afterwards. So we're going to take that off, sit that on a plate, get them nectarines on. We're now going to reset the grill again and get the nectarines on, but we're only grilling on a medium temperature. So just use the temperature button, take it down one from high to a medium. I've had that lid open while I'm taking the lamb steaks off. So the temperature of that grill plate has been dropping all the time that lid has been open anyway. and what will happen is the medium heat just won't kick back in again to start heating the grill plate up until it's lowered past the heat it deems as medium. I don't know what that temperature is, and then it will then keep it at that standard same medium heat temperature. But we don't want to grill these on a high because they will just burn because of the sugar content in the rub and the sugar content in the nectarines. So we're just going to lay them out, say medium temperature, and then we've got some nice slices of halloumi as well. So this is just straight out of the packet, sliced. We've got no seasoning on there either. We're going to layer them around, shut the lid down, and we're just going to go again for a couple of minutes. After a couple of minutes, we need to flip our fruit over, and as you can see, we've got some nice little sear marks on that fruit, but it's not burnt. It's just giving it a bit of colour in them places, and it softens up the fruit, but it gives you a nice caramelisation. So different parts of that fruit are going to give you a different flavour in your mouth. If you was just going to, for instance, lick the piece that has got your char mark on it, it's going to taste a lot more caramelly than the piece next to it that doesn't have the char mark on it. So it gives us a nice variation of flavour in the fruit. And we can get our halloumi flipped over as well, and as you see, you're building a nice colour on there. Again, with that, if we were grilling on a high, you're going to get bigger marks, more of a char, less of that nice brown colour, more of a black colour, and you're going to get a bitter taste. So with these two items, you definitely want to be cooking on the medium heat rather than the high. So once we've got them flipped, we're just going to go another couple of minutes, reset that grill, turn it back to grill, off we go again, another couple of minutes, and then we can start to plate up. So we take these off. I've got a couple of flatbreads that I'm just going to bung on, stick them on for a minute just to make sure these are warm while we're prepping everything else. So what I forgot to do was hit record when I was slicing the lamb, so it's quite annoyed me. But we've got our lamb already sliced on a plate. You can see that it's a nice beautiful medium in places and more of a well done in others, depending on as that steak side of bows down, them end pieces are going to cook through quicker than what the middle is. But that middle is a beautiful medium, which is exactly what I'm looking for. So what I'm going to dress this with is Waz Sauce Hut's mango sauce. So I believe it's called Island Breeze off the top of my head. I will put the exact name across the bottom of the screen because it's in the fridge and I can't remember exactly what it is called. But we're just going to pour a little bit of that on and then toss it through so that all of that lamb is covered, but we've not overpowered that meat, not completely cooked that flavour in. We've just got a bit of dressing on the outside. The flatbreads are now done. Get them onto your plate. Now I suggest going on as a base with hummus. So if you just want to use standard hummus, you can, but I've picked up a Moroccan hummus from Asda's, and this has got some spices in there, some sultanas in there, and some apricots in there. And as you're going to see at the taste test in a minute, it is well worth it because that hummus, I've never had it before, but I was just like in my head, this is really going to work with what I'm going for, and it is absolutely amazing. So we're going to get a nice layer of that on, and then we're going to lay down a couple of pieces of halloumi. Then we're going to get our dressed lamb on top of that, and then we're going to get our nectarines on top of that. Fold it over, and you're ready to eat. So let's give it a taste test. So there we have the finished article. Jump on this bit of halloumi first. It's cooled down too much while I'm setting the camera up. That is a disadvantage of having a YouTube channel. You're having to keep changing stuff around. Your food goes cold by this point. See that beautiful medium there? Let's give us a chomp. Tango Paradise Punch and a white rum. Absolutely epic to go with this. Give it a go. Right, it's going to be a messy bite, I reckon. I want to make sure I get a bit of everything. Wow. I don't know what else can I say. Wow. Oh, that Moroccan hummus from Asda's, that works absolutely perfectly. It's got sultanas and apricots in there and some spices. That is absolutely mint. I love that. I'm getting that again. I want another bite, so we're going to wrap this up really quickly. That is absolutely fantastic. Them nectarines with a bit of oomph powder on there makes them not too sweet, savourizes them up, makes them absolutely epic. If you like what we're doing here at Barbecue Life, then please do subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video. I can't even take my eyes off it, I'm not even looking at you. Make sure you like the video, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and thank you very much for watching. Cheers.